Okay, good morning. It is still morning, delegates. I'm Professor Hal. If we can turn the sound down a bit over there at sustainability, please, that'd be really great. Thank you very much. So this is the second of our two demonstrations. If you saw the first one, this is different from that one. It's the shorter of the two. It's about 15 minutes long. We've got 4 demonstrations which involve a few learning outcomes. If you didn't see the first one, then in half an hour we'll be repeating the first one so you can see them in whatever order you wanted to. So we are all about the science and the desolation and the danger. We love danger, don't we?
Of course we do.
Yeah, we spank the bottom of danger and we send it to bed without any tea. But Fisher gets so picky about life-changing injuries. So we're going to have to do some safety precautions. Could you try and find the sound guy and get rid of my feedback, please? Mr. Photographer guy. So we're doing demonstrations involving fire. Okay. I'm going to turn it off. You're feeding back, bro. You're right next to the speaker. All right, so, can you all still hear me? Yeah. It's much better, actually. It's much better, isn't it? All right, anyway, this is like a podium, and that stank, that demonstration, so I'm going to do it all over again. And whilst it's a nice, elegant way of introducing the health and the safety, too much feedback. While it's a nice way of demonstrating the health and the safety, it's also a nice science learning outcome. This is all about surface area and not about flammability. We all right, ladies? I will be asking questions. All right, so when I drop the powder onto the flame, it catches fire only because of the surface area. So if, for example, I wanted to set fire to this nice desk, it probably wouldn't catch fire. But turn it into sawdust and throw it onto a flame, and it would. And ironically, in sugar factories, such a thing exists. They have real strict protocols about sparks and so forth, because icing sugar does exactly the same thing. So this is just like a podium. It's just about surface area. Isn't that great? Yeah, it is. So that there is all about thermodynamics. Something catching fire because it wants to react, changing its state of matter. Now, I want to do something about kinetics. And in order to do that, I'm going to use this. This is called the Zhabotinsky reaction. And I get very excited about it because in the times in which we live, we are a little bit immune to the spectacle, aren't we? 3D cinema this, CGI that. But if this reaction works, and sometimes it doesn't, I have to say, it's a nice reaction, isn't it? It's a reaction that keeps on giving. All right. So we've got 3 solutions: solution A, solution B, and solution C. And I want to sort of tell you about it without giving the game away. This was actually discovered by 2 Russian chemists, Belousov and Zhabotinsky. They were military chemists, and the thing was, it was so spectacular that no one would believe them. It took them a long time to get it published. So, that's solution A. That's AB. It does, doesn't it? Solution B. I don't know if it matters which order you put it in. So what we're looking for is a kind of change, but I want to keep the money shot back to show you particularly what change. Yeah, Kofi, I want to see me, not you, mate. Right, okay, so it looks like something's going on. Right, so let's just shake it up. Now, it's gone blue, and that's, so what? It's gone blue. But just wait a little minute, because this swings one way and the other. A bit like Kofi, really, I have to say. Yes, the booby humour. I'm sorry. So yellow, blue, and was that a gasp of surprise? It was, wasn't it? So wet chemistry still can ring our bell. Now, this goes on about 14 times if it's done right. If he's prepared it, it won't. But just give it some time. Sorry, mate, I've been riding your back all day. Oh, look, there you go. I'm going to give you your bus fare home after all. Okay, and what this is, it's called an autocatalytic reaction. And I think it is. That's a nice smile, because I get really excited by this. All the stuff we do, I think this is really, really elegant. And you've probably worked out it's not one reaction, it's actually 3 reactions competing for resource. One's got a clear endpoint, one's got a blue endpoint, and one's got a yellow endpoint. It'll speed up as it goes on until it runs out of reagent, at which point it stops. But I just think there's several kinds. This is not the only one of this kind. This is a modified form called the Briggs-Rauscher reaction, but it is based on the original work by Belousov and Zhabotinsky.
Please make sure to allow time in your busy schedule to take part in our kicking challenge. This is located outside pitch side until 3 p.m. Thank you.
This is far more interesting than the kick challenge, all right? So give it up for the Belousov-Zhabotinsky reaction, please. Okay, so I've got to stop doing that. It is this vogue for starting all sentences with the word so. It doesn't make sense. It's grammatically incorrect, and I hate myself. Right, so I nearly said it. Right, okay. That was kinetics, and I just want to talk about some thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is it's reactions giving out energy, and all reactions give out energy. That's why they react. You go from a higher energy state to a lower energy state, and it can be delta G, delta S, or what's the other one? Delta H. Yeah, delta H is heat, all right? So this is a blowtorch, and it's burning propane gas, and it gives out light, and if I put my finger in it, I'd find out all about the heat, all right? Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? All right, so I'm not going to do that. Most reactions just give out heat. A few give out light only. Now, we've got that somewhat irritating light beaming down on us. So I'm going to do this over here, and the effect isn't what it might be if we had a darkened room, but we haven't. So the point about this is called chemiluminescence. Oh, isn't it great? Yeah, this is called chemiluminescence, and it's the chemical equivalent of bioluminescence, which is how fireflies and jellyfish and glowworms work. And you've probably already worked out it's how a glow stick works. Glow sticks are excellent. There's lots and lots of chemistry in a glow stick, and when you snap a glow stick, you're just breaking a little file inside which contains oxalate esters. Oxalate esters, it doesn't matter what they are, they're just a form of esters of oxalic acid, but nature has decided when they're oxidized, they get excited, and instead of giving out heat, they give out light. There is no why, it just is. It's one of those things. So there's a pretty white one. What have we got here? Oh, it's a yellow one. It's yellow, look, just like Kofi's teeth, look. Oh, did you say, oh, it's not a pantomime? And if it is, I'm the villain. So what's the other one? Is it, what colour is it? Green. Oh yeah, green like my eyes. Can you see that? All right, so the fact of the matter is, these will go on for about 12 hours. There's a lot of energy coming out there, and it's just nature has decided that giving out heat is a forbidden transition, so the reaction has to give out light instead. Yeah, give it up for the oxalate esters, please. All right, so we've looked at kinetics, we've looked at thermodynamics, and you know what? I think I'd like to set their hearts on fire, but instead I think we'll set their hands on fire, all right? We're just going to go back to our theme we started off this morning of looking at gases with different densities. And we've got here some methane. Now, methane is the gas that comes out of your gas cooker, and it doesn't smell of anything. The smell of natural gas is actually a thiol called ethane thiol, just so you know you've got a gas leak. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump some methane into this soap solution. Now, the reason I'm doing this and Kofi isn't is Kofi and soap have a very uneasy relationship. They don't get on at all, and so it's all right, mate. It won't hurt you, honestly. Try it someday, all right? Now, what we're trying to do is demonstrate that methane is actually less dense than air. It's lighter than air, which is a bit of a clumsy way of putting it, but it's less dense than air, which is why it's rising up. And with a bit of luck, if we keep pumping it, we might be able to take a little bit of it for a walk. Oh, that's nice. It's really nice, mate, honestly. No, it is. Can you smell it from there? Right, okay, so take that out. Let's just turn that off. Turn it off for me. Right, so the thing about this is, as you can see, it's lighter than air, and it's trying to move away. Now, 2 questions. Why aren't I writhing around in agony on the floor with my hand on fire? Is it because I'm a trooper with no pain threshold whatsoever? A science hero, if you will? No, it's not. 2 things. First of all, the flame was burning away from my hand. Second of all, there was very little oxygen. It was a very yellow flame, and therefore it was very, very cold, and it didn't hurt. Should we do it on you? No, come on, mate. I'm all trying to set your heart on fire. Let me set your hand on fire. Should we burn Kofi up? Come on, Bo. Let's go. So we'll burn Kofi, then we'll burn someone from the audience. How did you do that? Right. Okay. So once again, we're bubbling the soap through the gas through the soap. Now, I'm supposed to say this at the top of the show. You know, there's nothing here you can try at home, of course, apart from this. Please don't try it at home. And if you do, just risk assess it. There you go, risk assessment. Now I've said risk assessment, it's their fault if it goes wrong, isn't it? There's definitely going to fault. Right, so, come on, my man, let's go. Big handful. Okay. Oh, you're doing the double approach. Ready? Got a camera? 3, 2, 1. Oh, did you jump? Give it up for Kofi and his burnt hands. Oh, did you get a fright? Now, the smell that's currently rolling towards you is a smell of burnt Kofi, all right? It's roast Kofi, but it'll pass away in just a little while. Okay, well done, buddy. Oh, buddy. I got the old fist bump. All right, so that's the methane mamba. All right, I just want to now make a revisit to liquid nitrogen. We spoke about liquid nitrogen earlier today, didn't we? Did you all come to the morning show? You didn't come to the morning show? Oh, mate, now you've gone and done it. All right, anyway, so the morning show and the show we're going to have in half an hour, we introduced the concept of liquid nitrogen. You take gaseous nitrogen, cool it down by Joule-Thomson cooling, and it turns into a liquid at minus 196, and that is quite cold. And if you come back in half an hour, or 3/4 of an hour, we'll be doing more hijinks with it. But what we're going to do with it right now is just show it to you. Now look what you made me do. We'll just show it to you and have a little discussion about it. Now, liquid nitrogen. It's boiling, okay? And the thing about it is, this is all about grammar now. This is all about grammar. Boiling sounds hot, and we associate the word boiling with hot because water boils at 100 degrees. But this is boiling at minus 196. As soon as it touches the inside of the glass, it finds itself 200 degrees above its boiling point. But look, it's settled down. The reason it's settled down is in being boiled, it cools down the glass. So the inside of this tube is at minus 196, and the outside of the tube is at room temperature. So this is actually a really heavy-duty piece of kit. They're very, very expensive because glass can't really tolerate extremes of temperature. Okay, so what can we do with this? Well, if you come back in 45 minutes, we have a big section on liquid nitrogen. But the one thing I forgot to do earlier on was science lunacy, if you will. Could I put my hand in this? Is it no. Could I versus should I? I clearly can, but should I really? And the answer is no, I shouldn't, all right? But this is science world, and as long as you're learning some science, that's the sacrifice he's prepared to make. So, 3, 2, should I? Yes, I should. Oh, did you get fright? Right, okay. So, why is it that I'm, again, not writhing around in agony on the floor with or without some fingers breaking off? Again, it's the Leidenfrost effect. My hand is hot. My body is hot, and it's a long time since I've heard that, mate, all right? And if I put my hand in there, it's again like putting red hot steel into water. It still comes out red hot if you dip it in and dip it out. If I left it there for any length of time, I would lose fingers, because as I heat the nitrogen cools my hand, and the blood would freeze, or the water would freeze in my fingers, but we'll leave that for another day, okay? So, we'll do lots more demos with liquid nitrogen, but we're going to do one of the most elegant things that we do right now, and I need to do it in situ. Let me set it up, and then he can watch over it. Where's the blue dewar? He can watch over it while I tell you what's going on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make an element, or we're going to isolate an element in front of your very eyes because it's dangerous. We can't have it hanging around because fish get upset when we have huge accidents which destroy property or life or whatever. And so what we're going to have to do is do it a certain way. This is liquid nitrogen, and I've just put this little copper tube here. All it is a copper tube, and I'm immersing it in liquid nitrogen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start blowing oxygen through the nitrogen. Okay, so just keep your eye on that, buddy. And then as soon as it starts, I'll come and rescue you, all right? Now, I want to make liquid oxygen. How am I going to do that? The boiling point of liquid nitrogen is minus 196. The boiling point of oxygen is minus 183. So if you blow oxygen gas through a tube immersed in liquid nitrogen, it finds itself 13 degrees below its condensation point. It says, oh my goodness, I was a gas, but this is colder than my boiling point, so I need to become a liquid. So we're going to make liquid oxygen. And the reason we're going to make it like this is because it's really, really dangerous, okay? Wait for it, all right? It's really dangerous. Once you have a liquid oxygen fire starting, you can't put it out. If it got onto my lab coat, and my lab coat caught fire, don't even bother getting a fire extinguisher. No, go and get some popcorn and some Kia Ora and just watch the show, because you can't put it out. Actually, if you could try and get it put out, that'd be really great. I'd really appreciate it. Right, buddy, hold that. Right, so when I lift this out, put it in there, all right? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Right, now, you will never see this again live because no one is stupid enough to make liquid oxygen in front of a live audience, okay? One of the things you'll notice about it is what? It's blue. It's boiling, not fizzing. It's blue, all right? Liquid oxygen is one of the few elements with colour, all right? It's blue because in the liquid phase, it starts absorbing red light, okay? It's a little bit like why the sea is blue and why the sky is blue, except that's more to do with Compton scattering. But I think that's really, really cute. It's saying, oh, look at me, I'm so innocent and blue. But the thing is, it's deadly, absolutely deadly, and we're going to prove why, all right? Now, there's another thing about liquid oxygen I want to show you. Now this is really, really subtle, all right? But I like it. Liquid oxygen is magnetic. This is a neodymium magnet. It's a very, very powerful magnet. And this isn't going to be spectacular. It's just going to be a tiny little bit of, it moves towards a magnet. And I just think that's so, so cute. It's all to do with unpaired electrons, and you have to have a very, very strong magnet, but literally the oxygen's being pulled through to the magnet, okay? So two unusual properties. Its colour and its magnetism. Right, okay, let's get back to it. Now, the reason we're doing this. Right, just put that down there, buddy. Hold on to that. Now, biscuits. All right, is there any reason not to like biscuits? Now, this is just a packet of biscuits. And what I want to do is demonstrate combustion, okay? So it's a standard packet of biscuits, and I just want to try and burn a biscuit with a blowtorch. And if I try and do that, it doesn't burn. It smoulders a bit, it suddenly chars, but it's not interested in burning. This is trying to burn in 20% oxygen, which is air, and it's not going to fly because although it's got lots and lots of carbohydrate in it, it's got some fat in it as well. There's not much surface area, but most of all, the oxygen in the air is only 20%. Oh, mate, that's for experimenting, not eating. We haven't. Oh, mate. All right. So, I have here a biscuit which was soaking in 100% oxygen, and just, you know, the liquid nitrogen ice cream guy over there. All right. Just as a by the way, I was making liquid nitrogen ice cream when Heston Blumenthal was just a dirty thought in his daddy's head, all right? Coming over here with his big larging it up. And don't get me started about Brian Cox with the wonders of the universe, all right? Him and his haircut, mate, but he has got his own TV show and I haven't. All right, fine, let's move on, all right? I'll get over it. Anyway, I've got a broken biscuit in liquid oxygen. So it's the same fuel, the fuel is the same, it's just the oxidant that's a bit different, all right? It's 100% oxygen, all right? 100%. Not 99, not 98, not 20, it's 100%. So what we're going to do is, this is Professor Hal's biscuit drizzled with liquid oxygen, same fuel, but it's just got more, let's just drizzle some oxygen on it. There you go. Same fuel, but we've just got 100% oxygen going on there. So where's my blowtorch, buddy? Thank you. Hold that for me, please. Don't drop it. So, see how it goes. 3, 2, 1. It's the same fuel. There's all that energy in one biscuit. Okay? Now there's something you don't see every day. Moreover, have you all got little bright green lights in your eyes now? Don't worry, they disappear in about 5 or 6 years, all right? It'll be all right. Okay, so give it up for the burning oxygen biscuit, please. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we're going to pause there. We're back in about 40 minutes, but for no other reason, we need to have a big bang. If you can't have a big bang in a science show, what can you do, all right? And so normally I would do 2 versions of this demonstration. This is hydrogen. Hydrogen, hydrogenesis, water creating. Hydrogen is an explosive gas and it burns to give... Oh, mate, don't worry, it'll be all right. No, it's all right. We need a human shield. Are you able to be a human shield? All right, so we're going to have a hydrogen explosion. Now, if you don't like bangs, I think you came to the wrong show, point 1. It's not that loud, it's a kind of a deep thump rather than a big bang. We're not going to do hydrox because the ceiling height's too short. So, once again, if you like the show, I'm Professor Hal. If you didn't like it or you have any life-changing injuries, his name's Kofi, all right? So, put your fingers in your ears if you don't like bangs. 3, 2, 1. It's not like I didn't tell you, is it? Thank you very much. See you in 35 minutes.